first thing that came to mind, I said, we need to run out there and throw off all the senses and run all over the place, frantically. And that was the first part of it. And then the first part, I go, all right, so since we're going to run out frantically, as we're running around, we're going to continue to run around, and then one by one person's going to run from frantic and then start this picture. The next person's going to come in and add to the picture. And we're going to keep adding to the picture until there's one final picture. That's his theory. Once that one final picture, that's going to be like, wow. That'll represent the clothing, that'll represent the power of it, or whatever the case is. We're supposed to be modeling, making this still frame. So one of the ideas that we were talking about was the second idea that we did. So we come out there running frantically, and there's a chair present. So what we end up doing is we're running around, and then one person will run over to the chair, and the second person went over to the chair, and I was one of the second people. And what we did was that we lifted this four-legged chair, we put it on our shoulders together, and we're on our knee.
Oh my God.
And we're on our knee, and he's on his right knee, on my left knee, and this knee's up, his other knee is up, and we're holding the chair, and we're still. And then they're still running around frantically, and then one of the lightest girls, she starts to run around, and as she's making her loop, one of the guys run over full speed, and he bends over towards the chair to where his body's at a slant, his back, so he's like this, and it leads up to the chair. The chair's about right here, hit high, where we're holding the chair. The chair's facing this way. So while he's down, now that's 3 people, and there's still 5 people running around. So then the fourth person comes, they run, and then they start to walk, which was the girl. And the girl, she walks up slow, she climbs up on his back.
Sits on the chair.
And
she's
beautiful. She's this long, dark brown, beautiful hair. She's Italian. She's gorgeous, gorgeous, classic beauty. And then she comes and she throws her hair back. She gives us such a look.
She sits in the chair, like she's a
but like, exactly.
Yeah, we're holding it, and no matter what, each person that comes to the frame, they have to sit still like a mannequin. So she sits, I'm not sure what the pose she did, but she sits in the chair, and then that's at least 4 people. So it's 4 people still running around, and then those 4 people, one person also comes in, there's still 3 people running around frantically, right? He or she comes in, does their pose along with this whole entire picture. Now there's 2 people because another person comes in. Now there's 1 person running around frantically, and all of a sudden that final person comes in. It's a still frame. We hold that for seconds and let them do like a panorama around this or whatever the case is, so everyone can see this image that just got created. And then one by one, it's the opposite. Now one person goes out running around frantically, the second person, the third person, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, until all of us. And I end up being the last person. I grab the chair and I'm running around with it, and we all just disappear off.
Nice.
And this happened in a really relatively very short time.
And it's all improv.
It's all improv.
It's not even,
it's not even part of it. They created it.
So it's like, in a short period of time, we give the idea, we talk about how we're going to do it. We don't construct it fully, but we just talk about how we're going to do it. We get, like, it's beautiful because it's like the power of language and word, where you have to be very wary of what you say, because certain words give certain meanings, right? You can give one word and give another word, they both can mean the same thing, but it's like, you got to say those certain words that have everyone thinking the same thing.
And the thing is that they all agree, and they all, totally in it.
Right.
And we just jump into it, and bam,
And now imagine you as an audience member, you're watching this in a fashion show, and then what they're wearing becomes, because of the structure, what they're wearing it immediately becomes symbolic. Your brain started reading it in as symbols. So if you see 4 people wearing different pieces, you start to connect them together.
And they all come together as
one thing, and then there's a top. There's a pyramid on the top. Your brain will read it all as idea. So now imagine if the intention is put to it, the actual intention as this is the idea, this is the next idea, this is the next idea, this is the next idea. And carry it all the way forward. Meaning the idea meaning that the main principles of the design house. The principles of the design house.
We also did another one that I liked. I don't know if it was just as hard as the other one, but I liked it because there were 4 guys, as you know, right? There were 4 guys and there was 4 girls. And what we did was we ended up, there was 4 guys and 4 girls in our group. So what we did with this one was we kind of walked in and we went straight to it. We didn't even run around. We walked in, went straight to it. The guys we all lock arms. So there's 2 guys over here, 2 guys over here, 1 guy right here, I'm right here. And we intertwine our arms and we lock them and we pull back. Because, I mean, if you have 4 ropes that lock like that, you pull back on it, makes it stronger, right? So we pull back and we come down on our knees. We let the girls come in, and there's corners on each one of those. There's 4 girls, which means that they're going to sit down on these corners. So they sit down on these corners, they hold themselves, you know, gather themselves, and we just come up really slowly, and we just walk in place in a circle with them, and it's still frozen, but it's still moving. So we're frozen, but we're moving. And then what we did was that we had another one where the guys, we put our, I can't remember, was it we locked arms? I don't know what it was. We did something when we stood up. Oh,
that
we put
was
them on our shoulders.
when you put them on their shoulders.
Yeah.
Oh my
gosh.
So all the guys, we got down on our knees.
Yes, you're so athletic and strong.
They were. It was actually very awesome.
It was, yeah. It was
We got
great.
all on our knees. The girls jumped on our shoulders. We all came up. And all the guys, we come together and we made like this 3-dimensional triangle. So we came together and all the guys put our heads together, right? So we got 1 head, another head, another head, another head.
And there's another
Yeah.
triangle on top of you.
But the girls on top, I'm not sure what they did, but did they put their arms straight out like this?
Yeah.
So,
They extended your triangle in a
perfect.
Yes.
So they came to a point.
Yeah.
So we're
It
also.
became the Kremlin.
Yeah, so it was just this huge.
With a big star.
Exactly.
You should do that for this show.
But see, for me, what is just talking about is amazing.
Yeah.
Is that I could never, ever have come up with that idea.
Yeah.
I could never have.
Because it takes.
I could never have sat there and constructed it and then planned it and then just get people go. You stay here, you stay here, you stay here. You start constructing it.
Yeah.
That to me feels like so false, so
Amazing.
so forced into that it cheats everybody out of what could happen. You know, what could happen when intentions come together, which is in my opinion, it also has to do with government. You know, in the form of that, if government allows people to actually truly contribute, you know, and allows them to go, okay, you know, the people, I trust that the people know what is going on, and trust that the people have the mind. He goes, okay, come up with a solution. Like this guy. You know, I didn't give him anything. I said, this is what I said. You have 1 minute to come up with your story. And then I left him alone.
And I think our hardest story
Yeah.
was the very first one. Was when he first told us that, of course, like after doing it 2nd time, 3rd time, 4th time, you gain that trust from the first one. You're like, all right, cool, let's go do another one. So the first one was the hardest because you got to kind of meet new people, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. And I told him, I said, cool, awesome, I got a good idea. And I was thinking of this idea while we were doing just 2 people. And I sat there and I remember I told the girls, I was like, man, it'd be so cool if we did something like this. She goes, I love it. And all of a sudden he goes, all right, now you guys break off in groups. And I'm like, yes. So first idea was this. So we have these round stools, right? Got 4 legs, of course, because it's a chair. So there's 2 of them. So I told him, I said, look, we need 2 people who are willing to do this, but you got to have trust. And they go, okay, what is it? I said, so what you're going to do is, both of you are going to stand on 1 stool facing each other, all right? One of you guys are going to have that other stool in your hand, and you're going to hold 2 legs, and the other one holds the other 2 legs, and you're going to slowly pull each other apart and trust each other's weight. So
that was very cool.
That was really cool.
So you're on 1 stool, you're holding it, and you have to just like trust the other person. They're not going to let go, they're not going to shift, they're not going to do anything, but you're going to be able to hold your weight and stay stationary. And I said, and while those 2 people are doing that, you're going to have one person come over and look like they're holding them up like this, you know, from behind, and then the other one holding them up like this, and then just form around them, make it powerful. And that was our first one. And I remember when we came back, oh my God, we felt good. We were like, yeah, this is good. He's like, all right, do another one. We're like, all right, cool. Let's try this.
Because everybody contributed something. You know. I don't know. I remember hearing this somewhere. You know that it says that we all have the right to contribute a verse. Everyone. You know, and your right is to contribute your verse to the narrative. You know, bring your verse, make it true. You know, how many stanzas, who knows? You know, but make it true and then go for it. And when you do it, you become invested. You become invested in the outcome. You know, so you want the outcome to be true. You want the outcome to be really real. When you're not invested in the outcome, that's when you're like, I don't care, you know, you do stuff, you know, whatever. But when you're invested and this person is ailing, you're like, wait a minute, and it's part of the outcome, you look at that and you go, oh, wow, my friend is ailing, I better make sure he's okay. Because if he's not okay, this is not going to be okay. You know? And this is your self-interest. This is your self-interest, right? So then you pay attention. Because, oh, I need a stick so I can stand up. So what do? You give him a stick. Like, here's a stick. Okay, so he's standing because this has to stand. And then he looks at this person's like, my head is falling. I'm like, okay, I can give you a leg. You can rest your leg right here because we want this to be standing. You know, and that's community. That's community. That's exactly what everybody wants. If you're allowed to go to.
So do you announce your themes or whatever?
No.
Or just what it is?
No.
And you just guess it.
You just view it. You just view it. You just walk. Everybody, we all stand back and they do. I don't ask them what's the story, and we all interpret it however way that we want. You know, which is exactly the way events are.
And the thing is, we don't even get a chance to see what it looks like.
Right.
We just feel it.
Right.
And we feel that this is what we hope it comes out to be. And whatever it's this way it's perceived because beauty is just looked at so many different ways.
Right.
So we might have an idea this is what it looks like. Someone else might be like, you know what, it actually looks like this too. Oh wow, it looks like that too. So
multiple perspective fragmentation.
Well, you know, like for instance, in the legal system, right? The legal system, for instance, when an event takes place, when an accident or something happens, and they're finding witnesses, for instance, you know, because our legal system has advanced so much because of science that we know that two people standing at the same position next to each other, viewing the same event, are not looking at the same thing. You know, even though the event is one event. You know, if I'm standing even slightly from you, like if I'm standing like this amount of distance from you, and we're both looking at you, I'm seeing something totally different than you. So if I come to him and I say, hey, did you see her scratch your nose? And he goes, I didn't see that. And I'm like, no, she scratched her nose. You know, and then all of a sudden, we have a contention. Even though you're the truth, the event is there, she's sitting there. She goes, I think I saw her scratch her nose. And then she goes, no, she didn't. Right? And then the event is going around in circle. And yet, one event. You know? And so this is the idea. The idea is that art should be like an event. It happens. And when it happens with the idea that it is taking into account all of the circular formations that it could ever be in a spherical manner. Meaning that if it explodes, it comes out like the sun. It goes, each person gets a ray, you know. Each person gets a ray, and that's all they get. That's all you get. You can't get anything else. You can have the ray over there. You get your ray personally. It's directly personal to you. And this is attested to when you stand in front of a body of water, like in the evening, and the sun, and then the light comes directly to you. Everywhere you move, there's a light. You and the light. That's it. And there could be like thousands of people there. And each person is going to feel personally that they have their own direct source with the sun. Because if you move away, it follows you. If you move away, it follows you. And everybody can be moving anywhere they want. You look in the sun, there it is. So that's the idea. Which it's called Neodandi.